I like the music.
Yeah. Yeah, me and my AI Gigi, we put it together.
I was about to ask, is this AI?
Me and my AI Gigi put it together, but Gigi just gives me the idea. I put the ideas and Gigi spits them out. But then after she does that, then I kind of put my own mix to it, you know?
Has
Would
a
you
little
describe
West
this
Coast flavor?
Would you describe this as smooth jazz?
Nah, I describe this as lo-fi.
Yeah, it's just chill, man.
It's like a West Coasty lo-fi beat.
This is lounge music.
Oh, definitely.
What kind of cocktail are we getting with this music?
Hmm.
We're not getting Fireball with this music.
Oh, hell no. You know, speaking of Fireball, you know your local Valero has a Fireball display where they sell Fireball there?
Yeah, but I hear that it's a low alcohol version of Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
But it's less than what you get at Specs.
Fireball still sucks, dude. I hate Fireball, man. Come on, bro.
Hey, what's the timer at, man? The timer's not showing.
It's showing up here. It's at 40 seconds.
I don't see it.
Yeah. That's part of the problem when we're doing stuff online instead of using OBS.
Joe, let's let you do the intro today, my man.
Do the intro? All right. We got our normal suspects in here. Matt Lerma, Sam Salinas, Matt Gomez, Albert Lopez. What's up? Morning. Albert Lopez is saying, morning, fellows. What's up, LG?
What up? Buenas.
I get you new headphones too, Mike. I gotta get you some to match.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast. We're going to be joined today by the one and only LG himself. LG, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. And of course, we have the lovely Michael Jimenez joining us today. And you know what I put? I told Mike before the show started that we have the soundbite of him saying that the Spurs were punting the season away. And I got the soundbite from when James Pledger called him a moron. And those episodes, Mike, the from the archive were bangers, man.
Yeah, they were. And Pledge is already in the chat powered by MCS General Contracting saying Mike already on his BS. Come on, Pledge. Making this a rated R show just 10 seconds into the program.
Hey, I got to play the soundbite just for Pledger, man.
You moron!
Going back into the archives for all that, but fantastic. James loves the fact that you called me lovely. We got LG in the house. The first time I've ever done a show with LG. You've been hiding him from me for about a month and a half or so. Thank you for filling in on Fridays, but I wanted to be on today. Instead of taking the day off, I wanted to be on so I could hang out with LG, get to know you a little bit, man. How you been?
It's nice to finally virtually meet you.
Yeah.
It's been good, man. It was a long week, so I'm glad it's Friday.
So we have a question of the day, by the way, and Joe has been fantastic about getting the drops in. James Pledger provided his. We still don't have Leja's FDM picks, but when it comes in, we'll get it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a process. You got to build the library.
It is a process, but Joe was very, very happy to show me one before the show started, which was the controversial take I had this time last year, right around this time last year after the draft. What did it say, Joe?
Let's play this one. This one's a good one.
It was a punt. This is a signal that the Spurs have no intention of winning this season, and it's a punt into the future. Okay, LG, I need you to be the arbiter of this one, right? Be the umpire of this. People have given me so much crap about that quote when I said the Spurs punted. Now, let me give you some context here.
Okay.
Back last summer, remember the whole Trae Young, is he coming to the Spurs or not? What about Lauri Markkanen? All these big-time free agents, or not free agents, but potential trade prospects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could they come to San Antonio? When the Spurs signed Chris Paul, I called it a punt because I said 39-year-old point guard coming in, and there were some positives to him working with Stephon Castle and all that stuff. But I basically said it was a punt, and what I meant by that was we're not going to get any superstars coming over. We're not going to get any all-stars. It was a punt on the season. Was it inappropriate for me to say so? And Joe, what everyone else has been saying that it meant other things, Joe. And whenever Chris Paul had a good game, that's what I would get. That right there, that look I would get right there. It was a punt on the season. I stand by it. LG, was it wrong to have said it was a punt when the Spurs got Chris Paul last year?
Let's say punt's a little. It's a stretch. I wouldn't say it's a punt on the season. I'd say it's a development move.
Well,
they knew they weren't going to be
yeah.
any good. I guess if you're saying punt by meaning they knew they weren't going to be any good, so let's get this old guy in here to teach these kids something, then yes, you're correct.
There you go. I'm going to take
punt.
that.
Yes.
I'm going to take that, Joe. I'm going to take that as a victory. Joe, what's going on in your world, dude? You're Minnesota Timberwolves. Dude, I say you're Minnesota Timberwolves because you were all about them. And you were saying Oklahoma City's overrated.
They are, bro.
And OKC buzzsaw just killed them again in game 2, up 2-0, going to Minnesota. Do you still believe in the Timberwolves, Joe?
Nah, not anymore, bro. They're playing like 2 packs of ass. They look like they're tired. 1, 2, 3 Cancun. They're talking to their travel agent. They're ready to go on vacation, man. They ain't playing with no heart. They're just making a whole bunch of mistakes. They just look like a team that's tired. They just out of it, dude. They don't look like they have any interest in winning this series at all. And that's a shame because literally you're just 4 wins away from getting to the NBA Finals, and they're not playing like they're a team that's at the Western Conference Finals right now. It's like they're treating this like it's a regular season game. There's just no sense of urgency with them, you know?
And Ant-Man's come back down to earth. And part of that is because Oklahoma City's defense is so good. They're a very, very good defensive team. The problem is they're both good teams defensively. The bad part is one is good at offense and the other one's not. And Oklahoma City is a very, very good team. And I'm looking forward to whoever they play in the NBA Finals. Like you said, OKC is going to go to the finals. That's a foregone conclusion. But who would you rather see them play, LG? Do you want to see Oklahoma City against the Knicks, or do you want to see them play against Indiana?
The Knicks.
Why so?
Just because of the market. Honestly, not because of any player or any team's greatness. Just because of New York. I want to see NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden in the modern era.
Joe, you've been on record saying that you want the Pacers. This team of destiny, Joe. Do you think a team of destiny like the Pacers can go into Oklahoma City, steal a game over there, and just keep it going? By the way, the ratings for the Knicks and the Pacers game 1 was one of the highest rated games in years for the Eastern Conference Finals.
Great
Joe,
game.
Joe, are you expecting more fireworks in game 2?
I am expecting more fireworks in game 2 because the Knicks got to come out and do something because they let down not only the city, but the fan base as well. You know, because let's face it, man, they just pulled a choke job of epic proportions. But at the end of the day, I do want to see this Pacers team get into the finals for the case in point that I think they're one of the best teams left in the playoffs. They've proven that, man. They know how to win in crunch time. It doesn't matter how many points you go up on them. They're going to find a way to come back and make it interesting because it seems like teams just get complacent at the end. You know, at there 2 minutes, 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, run out the clock. Just play smart basketball. You don't have to be chunking up threes and making boneheaded moves. It's a combination of poor player IQ, combine that with poor coaching, and you get this debacle. So I'm just 100% behind the Pacers because I even said I'm gonna bet the house on the Pacers winning the whole damn thing. I think if you have the Pacers and OKC, the Pacers are going to be a better team, more well-rounded team than OKC. And then JHNSB says Joe is an envious Spurs fan, except that Chet and J-Dub will be NBA champs. I'm not. I even said that it's some of the other Spurs fans that are envious because they don't want to see Chet hold up a championship trophy before Wemby. But you know what? OKC has a better team. That's why they're in the NBA or the Western Conference finals, should I say, and not the San Antonio Spurs.
But don't the Pacers give you some hope as a Spurs fan? I mean, because there's not one superstar on that team. You have a team where everyone knows their role. Tyrese Halliburton has been an all-star. Pascal Siakam has been an all-star, but they're not perennial all-stars. They're not Giannis. They're not going to be what Wemby's going to be, where they make the all-star team every single year. The idea that we need to go get a superstar kind of goes out the window a little bit when you see teams like Cleveland do well this year. When you see Oklahoma City do well this year, and Oklahoma City and Indiana, both of them don't have any major superstars. I know SGA is the MVP, but come on, man, he was not really the MVP. That should have been Jokic. But the fact of the matter is, I look at the Pacers and I think to myself, that's a template, right? You have a capable point guard, you have a dynamic forward, you have good play down low, and you've got shooters. The importance of having shooters. That game would not have been remotely close if it wasn't for all the three-point shooting they had in the fourth quarter. Naismith knocking down 6 in the fourth, 8 in the game, giving Halliburton that chance to make that desperation shot to send it into overtime. It was a great game. All the pressure's on the Knicks. I don't care what anyone says. All the pressure's on the Knicks because if they go into New York and win tonight, series over. What do you think, LG?
That's what Stephen A. Smith said, LG, earlier today. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I don't know about series over, but Halliburton's shot was a miracle. Come on now. It was a miracle. They had to come back. It was a miracle. It's like the Tracy McGrady thing with the Spurs when he scored all those 3-pointers in like 30 seconds when Devin Brown fell over. But that's another story. But it happens from time to time. This doesn't happen every game. The Knicks played a better game.
For 47 minutes. For 47 minutes.
Miracle, yes. If they can just do what they did for the first three and a half quarters, they're going to win this series.
And to think it was a 14-0 run leading up to it all. Like I said, it wasn't like it was the last 51 seconds where everything that could have gone wrong for the Knicks went wrong. Part of it was boneheaded plays. Part of it was chunking up shots when they should have been running out the clock. Part of it was missing free throws, getting turnovers.
I blame a lot of that on the coaching, too.
Yeah.
Why is it the coaching? Joe said that yesterday. Why is it the coaching?
Call timeout.
Tell these kids not to dribble the ball out. Don't
Brunson's not a kid. Karl Anthony Towns is not a kid.
None of them are kids, technically, but to the coach, they're all kids.
True enough. But I look at tonight's game. Indiana plus 210. Man, those are some tasty betting odds right there. Plus 210, 6.5 point favorite. Okay, let's say the Knicks do win. They're going to cover the spread at 6.5? Because I think that's kind of high.
That is a high spread. But in today's day and age of chunking up threes in these high-scoring games, it's very doable. Probably be right on the cusp of that spread, though.
I tell you what, Joe, I don't know, man. I think that this Indiana Pacers team believes they're going to win every game that they're involved in. I think they're going to go out there because they've had 3 games where they've been down 7 points, 8 points, and 9 points with under a minute to go, have won those games against the Bucks, against the Cavaliers, and now against the Knicks. They go out there and this is so stupid, right? This is how bad it was for the Knicks. It's so stupid that they know that the Pacers have done that. They know that they've done that in the last 2 series, and they still nutted up. They still lost that game. I can't believe it still. I mean, it's been 36 hours since that game ended, and I can't believe what we just saw when that happened. And I think that the Knicks are snake bitten. They're snake bitten by that game. They're snake bitten by the fact that they haven't won a chip since 1973, Joe. I mean, before disco. We talk about the Cowboys haven't won anything since VHS. The Knicks haven't won anything since 8-track. Okay?
Yeah.
The Knicks are snake bitten, and I love it. I love that the Knicks don't win anything. I want the Pacers to go in there. I don't want a 7-game brutal series. I want the Pacers to get rid of them in 5.
You know what the Pacers say every damn game, every damn series, because everybody says, oh, that's it. They're going home. They're going home. They're going home. And their response is,
I don't give a damn.
They don't give a damn. They don't give 2 shits about what anybody thinks of them because all they do is win. All they do is win.
Yeah. Sam Salinas has a question for LG, asking the question, whoa. Are these kids or professional basketball players? LG, your response.
What's the difference? Even the kids are getting paid these days. So Wemby was professional at 15.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that Pacers series, that Pacers Knicks game tonight. That's going to be a fun game tonight. Switching things over a little bit. Yesterday was a historic day for Caitlin Clark. I don't know if you saw that, Joe. Caitlin Clark, for the first time in, I believe, 140 some odd games, did not make a 3-point shot in a game.
She went ice cold, Mike.
She went ice cold, scored only 11 points. They still won. Indiana still won that game. Went 2-1 on the season. She had only 11 points, but it's kind of weird. That is a team where Caitlin Clark may not actually be the best player on that team. That's how good they're going to be, right?
Yeah.
That's a good. They don't need her to be chunking up shots.
I got the perfect sound for Caitlin Clark and her debacle yesterday.
She was pretty pedestrian, dude.
SpongeBob. Yeah, pretty pedestrian.
4 points at halftime.
I dare say she played like Angel Reese.
Did you see her outfit, Joe, going into the game? Did you see her outfit going in? I don't know if we can find her outfit.
She didn't look comfortable.
Let's show the outfit, Joe. Let's show the outfit because LG, did you see her outfit? She looks like she worked for either.
Why are y'all watching this? What?
Well, first of all, because it was all over social media.
Okay,
it was all over Twitter. It's not like I went and searched it out.
I thought you happened to be watching the game. You're like, I'll check out her outfit.
Well, you know how you see Angel Reese go out there and she's dressed like a supermodel going out there, and then you have all these other players. The NBA players do that too. Even Wemby.
Yeah, it's a thing now. You got to walk through the tunnel and like it's a freaking gala.
A lot of guys were thirsty over this, but the fact of the matter is, the question was. Was she dressed to work at State Farm or was she dressed to work at Target?
She looks like Carmen Sandiego.
Who's wearing a trench coat in May? Come on, man. It's like 95 degrees outside there in Indiana.
You got to mix in some sunlight, too. Those legs are
a little milky there, man.
Right there. God, good God.
So you're against the catwalk on the NBA and the WNBA level. They don't do that in football, do they? I know Burrow and Brady do. But are you against the catwalk?
Nah, let them have fun with it. It's all good fun. Whatever.
Now, is it ever too overboard? Okay, because I think Caitlin Clark looked uncomfortable doing that.
When Wemby came in with the freaking whatever, the face all covered up, the Slender Man outfit, is that overboard?
The polar opposite of overboard was Tim Duncan coming in with the baggy pants
with
and
Jinkos
the Jinkos.
Jinkos and a Tommy Hilfiger polo and went down to the knees. Yeah.
How big is that polo shirt? If it went down to the knees of that guy, if I wore it, it would hit the ground, right? My 5'7" self, it would have been. It would have been like.
Look at Matt Lerma.
That style's coming back.
Look at Matt Lerma's comment. Kate from State Farm.
That's funny. Now, is it true that they play at State Farm Arena?
I think so, man.
I mean, if that's the case, because I heard that they're called the Indiana what? Sky? No, Chicago.
Yeah. State Farm Arena's in Atlanta.
Let me see here.
Oh, and Indiana. You're right. Yeah.
I look at Pledger says the entire NFL does the catwalk too now.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Is it the entire NFL or is it just the quarterbacks and the star players? Because it's not like we care what Odell Beckham Jr. was wearing back in the day, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. They're the stars. They're the face of the NFL. We see Dak Prescott do it a little bit, CeeDee Lamb as well. But I don't think everyone's doing it. I think just the stars are doing it. You know, the third string quarterback is not going to be doing that type of move. You didn't see Cooper Rush doing that, or we didn't care. But Caitlin Clark looked completely uncomfortable doing it. It almost feels like she's trying to force herself into having some sort of personality that she doesn't have. She's obviously a great player. She's obviously one of the 10 best players in the WNBA. If you want to say top 5, that's great. The best player is Asia Wilson. But the fact of the matter is that I felt uncomfortable watching her do that catwalk because it's so not her. Like, what was the point of that image change right there? You know what she looked like? She looked like Taylor Swift. Joined by LG and Joe Garcia. Am I wrong, Joe?
I don't know. I mean, you look at your girl Angel Reese. She's a Temu Beyonce, bro. Like,
I'll take it.
Even a Temu Beyonce. I mean,
hey, she looks more like Sid the Sloth, bro, from Ice Age, man.
Jesus,
dude, I've heard that. I've heard that for years. You know what? It's pretty damn accurate, man. It's pretty damn accurate.
Unsee it now.
You can't unsee it, man. So I'm saying.
So does Stephen A. Smith, as Fernandez points out, did he need to do the catwalk too? Why is he doing the catwalk? Why as media does Stephen A. Smith have to go through the tunnel the same way and in the same fashion as the NBA players?
Nobody cares to go see Stephen A. Smith and what he's wearing, dude. Who gives a damn about him, man? What are your thoughts, LG? You want to see Stephen A. Smith walking the catwalk? Why?
Not really. I mean, I feel like he's trying to fit in with he wants to be an athlete so bad that he's like, yeah, I got to film me on the catwalk. Like, come on now, bro.
What's that
like,
name of that
some
song?
fly suits, though. I'll give him that.
What's that name of that song? That song that came out way back when? Was it Right Said Fred?
I'm too sexy.
Yeah.
I'm too sexy.
Which, by the way, I've never seen sung at a karaoke, and it's got to be the easiest song to sing because it's a low register. You're
too sexy for your shirt, Mike.
Are you a karaoke?
So sexy it
Mike?
hurts. Oh, LG doesn't know.
Pandora's box.
LG doesn't
why,
know.
LG, man? Let it die, dude.
No,
I love karaoke, man. I didn't say that
All
I'm
right.
good at it. I just hold a tune decently. Okay.
Well, yeah, man.
I don't make an ass out of myself more often than not. I usually do okay.
all right.
Yahweh. I mean, he's gonna bow out when he gets, a couple of shades under the wind. He gets brave up there on the stage, and then he'll be like, "Nah, I'm good."
Now, I want to know what LG's go-to karaoke song is.
Oh man, I don't do karaoke, but if I were forced to, I'd do something in the low register or something that does like talk singing, like Frank Sinatra, or Dean Martin, something like that.
Nice.
They're like,
Somebody can have a drink too. Yeah,
You don't
I
have
like
to hit
that.
any notes at all. Or I'd do Biz Marquee, Just a Friend, where you can just be
Oh,
off tune the entire time.
Dude, that's a great song, man. You know what? First of all, I did not realize when I heard Bill's Marquee back in '89, I guess is when the song came out, that is some sage advice there.
Oh, it's true.
Don't believe a girl who says she just has a friend.
He got
okay?
burned. Yeah, he
Dude,
got
okay,
burned.
all
Someone
those
hurt him.
songs in the late 80s, early 90s had good advice. Never trust a big butt and a smile.
Oh, yeah.
Don't Biv
Mhm.
DeVoe.
That's the truth.
There's a lot of great advice in
It's
there.
poison.
Joe, we need to get you on stage because you didn't do it last time.
No, I'm shy, man. I gotta
don't do
get real.
karaoke.
I gotta get
Yeah.
all sorts of effed up just to get up on there.
No, not effed up. It's called the Goldilocks zone. Not
No.
drunk, not sober, right in the middle, baby. Right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's the same type of alcohol where you suddenly get good at darts and pool. I
Yeah.
suck at billiards when I'm sober. Get me a few drinks in me, all of a sudden, man, I'm doing trick shots. I'm setting myself up for the next one. I'm hitting darts in the bullseye.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, look
Fernandez says his song is Friends in Low Places. One of my favorite songs to karaoke. Again, low register.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
And Tony Ornelas says, Joe, you are not shy. You do this show, bro. Yeah, I do the show, and I'm not afraid to talk with people. But getting on stage and singing is something different, bro.
I'm the same way, man. I don't like getting in front of a live crowd. I'll DJ in front of a live crowd, but I don't like being like presenting anything or singing or being on the mic at all.
I mean, I don't mind doing stuff like in front of people, like public speaking, things like that. I'm not afraid of. Like even like back in the day, I used to do like I guess like acting and stuff because I used to be on stage doing like helping the school out with plays and whatnot, and doing little parts here and there. And that didn't bother me. But singing on stage in front of people, now we got a problem.
The next level is back at the Angry Elephant Bar on 281 back in the day, Hot Tin Roof, which used to be on 410 in Callahan area, and now they do it at oh my God, it's a bar on 1604, kind of near the rim, where they do live band karaoke. Where
that's better, yeah.
It's not piped in music.
Mm-hmm.
You have a live band. You have a guitarist. You have a backup singers, and you've got a drummer, and all that stuff. The last time I did live band karaoke, I sang Panama by Van Halen, and it freaked me out because I was doing decent enough that the guitarist started like leaning into me a little bit, and I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was getting into it, But Panama's a great song, dude. Gets everybody going.
Panama. Oh God.
But if I hear Sweet Caroline one more time at the karaoke bar, I'm gonna go off on somebody.
What's wrong with that, dude? That's like a Red Sox staple, man. You go to the game.
Those are the songs where everyone just has to sing with you, though, man. Those are the ones where like I can't sing, so I'm gonna pick this song so the whole bar's gonna sing with me and help me through it,
Because you just point the mic out. Yeah, you just point the mic to the patrons there, and they'll be like, "Sweet Caroline," and that's everybody else. That's the only thing everybody knows. Dun dun dun, and that's it.
Joe, I tweeted yesterday that why is it that country music is so lazy these days? Why
Oh
is every
yeah.
song about alcohol? Every
You know
song
what?
is, pour me a drink. It's
My kids.
I think of tequila, bourbon this, and
It's funny you
it's
said that because
lazy.
my kids had said the same thing. They're like, this country music sucks. They said they say the same thing all the time. They're singing about the same thing all the time. They're like, it sucks. It's boring.
It's the same thing, dude. The same thing. Let's get back to sports, Joe. Get back to sports. The Spurs. I was looking at this mock draft today. It was called the consensus mock draft. And what they did was they picked 7 mock drafts and they gave a consensus saying, here is the low end and the high end of each player, right? So, for example, Conca Nipple, right?
Yeah.
The highest he's been mocked is 3, the lowest is 10. So we know he's going to go somewhere between 3 and 10. If you look at these 7 mock drafts from everywhere from The Athletic to ESPN to CBS Sports to Yahoo Sports, all the way down, right? 3 to 10. Dylan Harper at number 2, right?
Yeah.
You know what the highest he was?
What?
2. You know what the lowest he was? 2.
Oh.
Every single major mock draft has him going number 2. LG, does that scare you a little bit? That he's the consensus number 2 pick in the draft, or does that give you a little bit of calmness as a Spurs fan that the world thinks that he's the number 2 guy in this draft and that there's no question about it?
It gives me calmness. So there's basically no doubt they're going to pick him. Do they? That's all up in the air. We don't know what Brian Wright's going to do, but yeah, it gives me calmness that, it's better than having a draft that where we're like, you don't know who's going to be picked. I mean, granted, that could mean there's great players all throughout the top, picks. Mm-hmm. But is this draft that bad that he is considered the number 2? Nobody's better than him? Nobody?
Well, it's funny because you very rarely see this happen. You sometimes have the number 1 talent there. You knew that Wemby was going to go number 1 overall. Last year, when you looked at the draft, it was beauty was in the eye of the beholder. If you had the draft board of all the different teams, some would say that it was Zachary Sarche. Some would have said Castle. Some would have said Alex Sarr. So that was a draft where I honestly believe the top 4 teams got the player that they wanted. I think that if the Spurs had the number 1 pick, they would have chosen Castle. I think that if Washington had the number 1 pick, they would have chosen Sarr. I think everyone got what they wanted. But this is a draft where there's legitimately a 1 in Cooper Flag, and there's legitimately a 1A. I don't want to say tier 2 of Dylan Harper because to me he's 1A. If everyone else believes he's 2, that means that if Cooper Flag wasn't in the mix, that everyone would think that he was a consensus number 1. So it gives me some calmness there. If Brian Wright pulls a Nico Harrison and drafts somebody else, that would be the ballsiest thing he'd ever done as the GM. But who would it be? How can it be if they do that, Joe?
The ballsiest thing that you could do instead of going ahead and picking a sure thing at number 2 is trading that away for assets that you can use now to help you win. Instead of going ahead and getting that number 2 pick and be like, all right, this is going to be our guy. You make a deal with the team. And again, like I was saying, you get some players out here that can complement your supporting cast that you have now. Bucket getters, people that are good role players that can knock down buckets, 3-and-D guy that can go out there and do something on the wing, I mean, that's what the Spurs are really lacking. And if you want to go ahead and say you want to make a ballsy move, that's what you do. Well, it might not be, let's say, favorable in the eyes of Spurs fan. I think that's something that you would be like, all right, let's see what happens. If he does something like that. My opinion, though, I think they're going to stand pat and go ahead and just get Harper at number 2. There's not going to be any sexy moves there, but there might be something that the Spurs do at that number 14 pick. They might trade that away.
When you look at these comparables, LG, of these players, I talk about calmness as well. I love the fact that Dylan Harper's dad played in the NBA for 15 years. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that Dylan Harper's dad played with Michael Jordan, played with Kobe Bryant. I like the fact that his dad was a 5-time champion. I love the fact that his mom played basketball professionally as well. I think that this is a perfect fit. I don't care if Stephon Castle's out there because you know what? Maybe, just maybe, this makes Castle better. Maybe Castle sees Dylan Harper come in and go, okay, I'm not the anointed one. Maybe I'm not guaranteed a starting job over here. Maybe I'm not the future with the Spurs, and maybe it lights a fire under Castle's ass even more. He provided that fire already. I'm not saying that he needs that or that he's lazy or that he wasn't trying really hard in the offseason. I'm not saying that. But doesn't iron sharpen iron? I mean, isn't that a thing? And I look at it, the more I think about it, the more confident I am in that those who say F them picks really need to settle down. I think that the whole idea of going out and getting Giannis might not be the best thing for the Spurs. But LG, you're the general manager of the Spurs.
Oh yeah.
And let's say that it costs a couple of key players. It costs Harrison Barnes, it costs Vassell, and it costs the number Dylan Harper, and maybe a couple of other picks down the road. You doing that pick? You doing that trade?
Honestly, we put all our eggs in the Wemby basket. I'm asking Wemby. If Wemby wants to do it, he wants Giannis that bad, present him the deal, those players. He says yes, you go with what Wemby wants, man. This is Wemby's team. You gave him the keys to the city. You gave him this team. He's supposed to be the face of the NBA. So let him shape the team how he wants.
What do we have to show that Wemby is that guy, though?
We don't.
I mean, I know he's young. He's 20. He's going to be 21. The whole idea that it's his team, I tell you what, if we brought in Giannis, if we brought in Kevin Durant, it wouldn't be his team. It would be their team. It's one of those things where you look at it and I think to myself, my God, you might be punishing Wemby by bringing in another star. Because Wemby was supposed to be that generational talent, right? And I know that it's weird. We go back in time. Who are the two generational talents the Spurs have had? David Robinson, Tim Duncan. David Robinson had, years at Navy, 2-year naval commitment. He came in as a grown-ass man. Tim Duncan, 4 years at Wake Forest, came in as a grown-ass man. So maybe this is me just piling on Wemby right now when Wemby is still 2 years younger than what these guys were when they first came out. I get that. But it's also different because he was given the keys to the car sooner. Mm-hmm. He was given the keys to the car a lot faster than those guys were. And at what point do we look at Wemby and say, Wemby, you need to lead this team? Does he have to be the leader of this team at year 3 at the age of 21? Or do we wait for the second contract to say, okay, now that you've had 4 years under your belt, you now need to assume the alpha status on this team? Because I tell you what, Spurs down by 1 with 5 seconds to go. I don't want the ball in Wemby's hands. I want it in De'Aaron Fox's hands.
Yeah, give it to Fox.
But at what point do we have to look at Wemby and say, that is your situation? Because I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, no, but I think if you did that trade, Wemby would happen naturally. If Giannis becomes the alpha, which he obviously would, Wemby would fall into the role. I believe he'd fall into the role like David Robinson kind of was. Tim Duncan came in, David Robinson, obviously he was a lot older, but he stepped back a little bit. He's like, all right, Timmy, do your thing. I'm going to compliment you. I think it would be a great fit. And if Wemby wants that, I would do it.
One of the things that I think of when it comes to Wemby is who exactly has been his mentor. Now, I know that we have mentors, like he's working out with Hakeem Olajuwon this offseason, and I know that he has access to Tim Duncan and David Robinson. I get that. But on the court, we saw a mentorship between Chris Paul and Stephon Castle. David Robinson mentored Tim Duncan. Avery Johnson mentored Tony Parker. You look at Wemby, I think the problem that he has is that he doesn't have another big man on the roster that he can look and respect.
Mamu?
Who's been through the battles. It ain't going to be Mamu. It ain't going to be Charles Bassey.
Who?
It's not going to be any of those guys.
What's this name going to be next year? Gone.
Maybe the problem
not going to work here anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem is that Wemby has not had a mentor to rely on that he could go on 82 games with. I think that might be the problem. Maybe, and that's why I think the idea of going after Giannis might not be it. Maybe the idea is to go after a Naz Reid kind of player. Throw a lot of money at him. I'd rather throw $30 million at Naz Reid than $60 million at Giannis. I'd rather have a more complete team like Indiana right now, who has Nemhard and has, Naismith and Siakam. You got 2 past all-stars, but it's a complete team. These super teams, man, we're in a league right now where we're going to have the 7th champion in 7 years, 7 different franchises. It's telling me that the idea of having a super team has probably passed its prime. It may not be beneficial anymore, Joe.
Hey, we got a comment coming in. I wanted to get to this one by James Pledger. He says, I thought Josh Primo was the ballsiest thing he's done. Speaking of Brian Wright. And then we had another comment.
That was the dumbest thing that he's done.
I wanted to show this one. Leha was saying that he's tired of, he says, settle down these nuts, F them picks. And he says, tired of this. He goes, trade them picks, bring in stars, and F and win now. You know what?
Okay.
That gets this soundbite.
Scared money don't make money,
Okay, so here's the thing. It will win games. Okay, you bring Giannis in here, 50 wins, book it. It'll win games. But are we in this to win games, or are we in this to make championship runs? It's 2 different things.
Yeah.
And Rudy G asking the question, who mentored David Robinson? Terry Cummings? The answer is yes. Terry Cummings was that guy. He was the veteran leadership on that team, on that roster back in the day. He also had the ability of having, a lot of what he had, Larry Brown in that era. He had a lot going on with him. But the fact of the matter is that, Tony Analysis bringing up a point right here. Says, Mike, did you hear what SGA said about CP3 postgame last night? That's why you keep a CP3 type player on the team. It would be a lot of guards, but CP3 can help with the leadership of Castle Fox. I think CP3 is not in the state of mind right now to want to play for a Spurs team that he's going to get reduced minutes on.
Why not keep him on the team as an assistant head coach?
Oh no, I would love all that. We've seen point guards become head coaches. Steve Nash became a head coach. Jason Kidd. We saw.
Yeah, but Steve Nash sucks something awful, dude.
But either way, they have that coaching mentality. But is CP3 going to go try to win a chip someplace? Is he going to go try to be a mercenary and go latch on to Indiana, go latch on to the Knicks, go latch on to one of those teams?
Father Time's undefeated, brother.
Well, but I mean, what's the appropriate amount of minutes to play a 40-year-old Chris Paul when you've got Dylan Harper, Stephon? Then why would he play? Why would
but
he
I'm
go
not
there?
saying you don't get him on as a player. You say, look, you know what? You go ahead and retire. Yeah, you come on as coach.
It's like Avery's final year on the team. It's basically a player coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a coach and a player on the Mavericks, basically, too.
Yeah.
That one season. But you don't think Giannis can be this mentor? I mean, what does he have? 11 years in the league? 12 years?
If Giannis was a mentor, he would have mentored Thanos, his brother. His brother sucks.
Sometimes there's that brother situation, like you can't have a brother as a mentor sometimes.
Why does Giannis' brother sound like it's very true. Giannis' brother's name sounds like he belongs in a Marvel character.
That's a badass name, honestly.
Well, what's your name? First day of school, Thanius.
Thanius.
That's a badass name.
But
LG, let's talk about a Giannis coming to the Spurs potential, right? The whole point that I hate the fact that I just kind of feel like if you give up the farm, you have 3 solid players and then nobody else behind it. I just feel like there's just no bench, nothing behind it, and one injury and you're done for the season. Your thoughts?
I wouldn't say done for the season, but yeah, you do have to have a bench. Obviously, you got to make other moves. This can't be your only move that you make, and you can't give up the farm. You've got to do something to where you come out on top of this deal without giving up, the entire farm. You got to keep some key pieces in there. Like I think Castle should be off the table, to be honest.
Hey, I'll buy
Number 2 pick, take it.
Oh,
keep Castle because number 2. Everyone say it's going to be Harper, but he hasn't been proven yet. Maybe there's some sneak pick that's going to be better than him. Let's win.
Primo
now.
2.0.
Let's win now. Yeah, exactly. Maybe he pulls his dingus out in the locker room or something. I don't know.
Man, no, dude. I remember when they drafted Primo. I was at a bar called Deal over on Ranch, right?
Doing
and I was
karaoke, right?
And it was weird because it was like Working Women's Wednesday or something like that going on, where I was there going, where are all the dudes watching the draft? It was just me and like 80 chicks around me, right? And I was just sitting there going, okay, and with the 12th pick in the NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select, by the way, after months of prognosticating, after months of reading mock drafts, they said the name Josh Primo. And I was like, oh, a consensus second rounder.
Oh.
Yo, I too like to live dangerously. A consensus second rounder. This was after they picked Lukas Samanic, who was also a consensus second rounder back in the day. This is why I say LG, and Joe agrees. I trust Brian Wright when it comes to trades, but when it comes to picking players that are not no-brainers, number 4, Stephon Castle, guess what? Every GM would have taken Castle that position. Number one, Wemby, everyone would have taken Wemby. He's great with the no-brainers, great with the trades, but I'm questioning what he's going to do at 14.
Mm-hmm. Look at MGP joining us here in the chat. Thank you for joining. He says, what a reach Primo was. And that was a big reach because if you look at the reaction that Spurs fan had at Primo's name being called, they were just in shock. And then when the reality set in that the Spurs went ahead and picked a guy that was projected to go even further, maybe down in the first round, maybe even the second round pick, they were just angry, dude. And then they were like, well, let's see what the kid can do. He looking like he might be all right, an upgrade over Trey Jones, and then gets caught showing his dingus somewhere, and then that's it. Yeah. He gone.
It was a reach, and he played really well when he was playing, and we thought we were going to have something, but then, he wanted to reach around.
Yeah. Reach around, play games, man.
We needed a drop for that one, Joe. What was the appropriate drop for that one? That was the Kawhi laugh. I think is what
that's a Kawhi. We need to go ahead and get a soundbite of Spurnandez. I need him saying, "Good morning to Spurs fans and Spurs fan only."
That's right. LG, I mentioned this to Joe yesterday. The hurtful thing of watching Indiana play is the fact that their two biggest players, or the ones playing the best right now, are Tyrese Halliburton and Aaron Naismith. Both players the Spurs passed on because they drafted in 2020 at number 11 Devin Vassell, number 12 Halliburton went, number 14 Naismith went.
Damn.
That's the hurtful thing. And we talk about Josh Primo, Alperen Sengun, who should be named third team All-NBA. They passed on him as well. So that's the hurtful thing of watching the playoffs. Still gonna cheer for Indiana nonetheless, but it just shows that it's all about the draft. It's about picking the right guy. And I know it's about development, but it's also picking the right guy. Not that Vassell has sucked. It's just that Vassell has not ever played a playoff game, and it's been like 5 years.
No, he sucks.
He does.
He's a spotty shooter, streaky shooter.
He is streaky.
Yeah.
But he broke a Spurs record for most three-pointers in a month in March of this year.
Yeah, he probably broke the most attempted as well.
Yeah, he needs like 40.
He's always open.
To get 10 points, man.
In his mind, he's always open.
No such thing as a bad shot.
Yeah, never missed a shot he didn't like, Devin Vassell. In ass.
Get him out of here. If you want him, take him.
Devin Vassell, I've even gone on record and said this. You've already seen his peak. This is who he's going to be. Very inconsistent player. He's going to have good games where you're like, man, look at this guy. He's really going to mount it at the hold my beer. Because as soon as you play against a good team, he all but folds like a $5 folding chair. Them little rickety chairs you're afraid to sit on at the barbecue because they're going to break. That's Vassell. That's Vassell.
LG, as the team is constituted right now, let's say that the Spurs, now we didn't have De'Aaron Fox last year. We had him for 17 games. Mm-hmm. The 17 games we had him, he was hurt.
Yep.
Wemby missed, 40% of the season?
Don't forget Sohan. He's always injured, too.
Yeah.
You can get that bum out of here, too.
But he has colored hair, LG. They love him, man.
First of all, I've enjoyed I'm enjoying the fact that people are jumping off the Sohan bus, the Sohan train. It took a while. I was a complete dick apparently for knowing that he was a scrub from the get-go. But still, people are not going to be like, well, Jimenez was right.
No.
You
Every
can't
time
ever
you
say
see
Jimenez was right.
Sohan play, Mike, this is what your reaction was.
What the fuck is this?
Okay, LG. I talked so much crap about Sohan. We went to go see him play. Joe had tickets on the 5th row, which I don't sit that close down. And it was the one game that he went off. And I told Joe, I think he saw me in the stands.
Yeah, and then me and Leha were there too, and we had what's his name? The traffic cone, the one guy that we shipped off to the Bulls. What was his name? Collins.
Zach
Collins.
Yeah.
He was out there and we're heckling the whole game. Even the Portland Trailblazers players were laughing because we're calling them booty crumbs every time he got near us. Booty crumbs, booty crumbs.
Now that's the best move Brian Wright's ever made, dumping that contract.
I know that trade.
Although he gave him that contract, so is that a wash?
Oh, look at that. I like this one. Jevin Tavarius says, Jeff, for sale. I want to put that on the back of a shirt.
Yeah, somebody yesterday called him Devin Vagisil.
Oh, you think they'll let you go in the jersey? Wear that in the jersey over there in the arena?
That'd be hilarious if you. Yeah, they would. I don't see why not.
Nothing.
As this team is constituted right now, LG, how many wins they're getting? Let's say they get Dylan Harper. You have a healthy Wemby, a healthy De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle in his second year. As it's constituted right now, no major pickups. How many wins are they getting? They had 34 last year.
Yeah, 45, 50? Nah, I don't think they're getting 50. I think they have a chance at the play-in. That's it.
45 sounds about right, man. Sounds about right. Jason Garcia with a $2 super chat coming on in. Say new drop for Primo.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He says, new drop for Primo, My Ding-a-Ling by Chuck Berry.
I can't believe he was allowed to talk about songs that, have like innuendos there.
You know what? Let's talk about that.
Early time for that song for him to be able to sing that to people.
What are the best innuendo songs? Love Gun by Kiss.
Jeez.
Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Pour Some Sugar on Me, Def Leppard. Come on, bro.
I heard or I read someplace, and maybe I'm wrong, that the song Honey by Mariah Carey was cochino.
And look at this. You have James Pledger. He's clapping back at you, Mike.
Okay, he says we were wrong on Vassell. You included Mike after just naming everyone they could have taken after him, but you were trying to call out the ones that defended Sohan about being wrong. Pot, kettle, meat kettle. Okay, first of all, Pledger and I were all about Devin Vassell when he was at Florida State. Pledger and I were both. It was Pledger's show back on the Saturday Morning Hangover, and I was oftentimes on there with him. 11 o'clock ESPN, Florida State would be playing basketball every Saturday. And we saw Devin Vassell and Patrick Williams play, and we're like, man, that Vassell guy would be great for the Spurs. So when the Spurs drafted him at 11, I was excited. But the weird thing was that when Vassell played college ball, he was a lockdown defender. Lockdown defender and a decent offensive player.
What?
So if you were to rate him as a defensive player, he was like a 9 or a 10. Offensively, he was like a 6 or a 7. He goes to the pros. Where did that defense go? How were you a lockdown defender in college ball, playing in a decent conference, come to the pros, and all those skills just went away? Because I've never once seen Devin Vassell lock down an NBA player. Offensively, he's all right. He's still all right. But that defensive skill just went away. It's like he just said, I'm just not going to play defense.
Yeah, he just hasn't panned out for the San Antonio Spurs for what he's been paid. He's not the caliber of player that they had expected him to be. And at some point in time, you have to go ahead and come to the realization of that and move off of him before you can't get nothing for him. That's what the San Antonio Spurs have done in the past. They have the gentleman's agreements. They hang on to players too damn long. And when they finally decide to get rid of them, they only get like a bag of chips for them. I bet you if they go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to entertain the thought that we're putting him out there in the trade market, right? We're going to see what we can get for him. Listen to offers. See what you can get for him now. Why wait?
Well, 27 million. I mean, you'd have to at least be the sixth man on a team. You can't be 27 million and be the eighth guy on the team. You just can't. Not in today's NBA salary cap environment. That's the problem that you have. And we got to give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. I'm today's guest on Locked On Spurs.
Nice.
That's silver and black coverage. More than 7,500 subscribers on YouTube. Jeff Garcia.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Again, the show's coming out. I am today's guest. We asked the question, Stefan Castle, what was the good about him this year? What was the bad about him? And we give a letter grade. Also answer some questions from listeners as well when it comes to it all. Jeff Garcia. I listen on Spotify. I'm not a YouTube guy necessarily when it comes to a lot of things, but I do love listening to him on the road. Check it out on Spotify. Kendrick Perkins is making the news these days.
Yeah, Jeff just put that out there too.
Claims to have locked down Tim, Tony, and Manu at some point. Kendrick Perkins, you think I have tall tales? Kendrick Perkins, I don't remember him being any good in the NBA.
Nah, dude, he was very forgettable.
I just remember him yelling at the refs. That's the only thing I remember. He had just a loud mouth.
I mean, I can't even tell you what teams he played for.
He played for the Celtics. He played for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's right. He was there for 5 years. Didn't he get like a standing ovation yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know why.
For what?
He didn't do nothing.
For what? He played for them, I believe, 2010 to 2015. Those were the years where you had, Westbrook and you had Ibaka and all those guys. I remember those guys. Kendrick Perkins. Who cares about Kendrick Perkins?
Yeah, nobody cared about him or his yellow eyes. He was very forgettable.
Oh, man. But I'm looking at the mock drafts for number 14. What are the Spurs going to do at 14? I'm going to make the bet, Joe, that we don't pick number 14. I don't think that we're going to keep the pick.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's going to kick it down the road.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I don't think they're going to keep the 14th pick. I think they can go ahead and get some assets for that, or maybe something else. You know, if it's not going to be future picks, maybe they can go ahead and, get, let's say, said players for the 14th pick that the Spurs could use on their roster now and say goodbye to who? What's his name? Bassie?
Yeah.
Champagne?
Tony Arnalla is saying that he wants Rasheer Fleming at number 14. A lot of Spurs fans are really enamored with Carter Bryant, who played for Arizona. I'm kind of confused by the whole Carter Bryant thing because he played well at the combine and he has the measurables. He's 6'8", 225, has the wingspan, a 3-and-D guy, shot pretty decently from 3 in college, 37%. The problem I have, LG, and tell me if I'm wrong in thinking this. Someone who looks good in a combine setting, but only averaged 6 points per game in college. He averaged 6. 6.1 to be accurate. And he only played 19 minutes a game in college. And this guy is projected to be a lottery player. And I'm thinking to myself, why? He didn't get the reps.
Based on the combine performance alone, I guess. Like it's dumb.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Like,
yeah.
Someone's going to draft this guy, and then they're going to look back and go, maybe we shouldn't have drafted him. Maybe he had the body. Maybe he had the body, the size that we wanted, but maybe the skills weren't there. Do you know who the NFL comparable to me is? Trey Lance. Trey Lance was picked number 3 overall, right?
Yeah, by the Niners.
He played like 12 games in college, and it was at North Dakota State. or 14 games. It was a small sample size of games that he played, and I think part of it might have been during COVID.
And where's he at now? He gone.
Gone. And then people are like, man, we didn't realize that Jaden Daniels was going to be so good. We didn't realize that Joe Burrow was going to be so good. Guess what? They played a lot of games in college. They played 3 or 4 years. They have 40 some odd starts against SEC defenses. Baker Mayfield. They played a lot of games for a lot of teams. Caleb Williams will be good this year because they played a lot of games. It's almost like experience counts.
Yeah. We got an incoming super chat here, so thanks for that, Greg.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He says, Mike, LG, and Joe, great show. Happy Friday, fellas. Happy Friday to you, Greg. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it, Greg. And it's Friday, and we don't what?
We don't give a damn. That's what it is.
We don't give a damn. Hey, we're gonna have a 3-day weekend, Joe.
Man.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I got to hit, after the show, I got to get going and hit all my marks at work hard because 3 days off, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's going to be great, dude. It's going to be great. LG, what are your plans for Memorial Day?
Well, some of y'all have a 3-day weekend. I'll be working all weekend. So, yeah.
Oh man.
On holidays, I usually work. So it kind of sucks. But, yeah. Freelance life, man. No 9 to 5.
Oh,
that's right, man. You work 24/7, bro. When you're on your own boss.
Dude, I got home at 1 a.m. last night. Drove all the way from Hutto. I should say Carl Schoening's car drove us from Hutto to San Antonio.
How's Carl doing these days?
He's fine, man. He's good.
Dude, I did some shows with him back in the day. He's a good guy, man. He's a great play-by-play.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of camera work together. He's like my partner cameraman these days. So,
he does a fantastic job doing play-by-play, whether it's with the Austin Spurs every once in a while or the Incarnate Word Cardinal basketball team does a fantastic job. Katie Goodman oftentimes on the air with him as well. They do an amazing job.
Yep, voice of the Roadrunners.
That's right. Yep. That's right. Hey, Joe, I'm going to head out to Kemah.
I know, man. You told me you're going to be going to the boardwalk, Kemah Boardwalk.
How is Kemah? I've never been to it.
Kemah is cool, man. Kemah is, you got like 3 or 4 restaurants there. It's like Saltgrass, that Bubba Gum shrimp place and all that stuff. And then you have the rides. I'm going to tell you the ride that scares me the most, man.
Ferris wheel. Fuck that shit, dude.
The Gravitron.
Yeah.
Dude, the Graviton I got on at the rodeo this year.
Oh no,
dude, that'll mess you up. Is that the one where you're hanging on like this? and it slides you up a little bit, then you crash into it, then he slides you back down.
If you throw up, it just stays plastered like that until you stop.
How are you still riding carny rides? Right? Come on.
It's disgusting, man. No, man. You said don't get in the caca water, Mike, over there in Galveston, because Kemah is right smack in the middle between Houston and Galveston.
That's why I was asking, because I've been to Galveston many times. Is Kemah a better experience than Galveston?
Well, the experience you have at Kemah, the Kemah experience is it's more about enjoying the water, not getting in the water.
Cool. I'm all about that. Water because I don't fuck with the ocean.
It's about it's about floating on a boat with a drink in your hand, or looking at the water and the birds as you're sipping on. Or getting on carnival rides. The carnival rides there are nice. It's not like it's little roller coasters and stuff like that. It's very cool.
It's a permanent installation. It's not like the fly by night where they just set it up in 2 hours.
Oh yeah, no, it's
rusty bolts and
it's permanent. But they also have on there from Kemah every Saturday, it's like 6 months on, 6 months off. But every Saturday they'll have a cruise that has a theme associated with it. It's a dinner cruise. So you get on at 4 o'clock. You don't come back till like midnight, right? You have dinner out there, out in the water. They have a 90s themed 90s R&B cruise line. They have an 80s pop cruise line. Nice. They've got a 50s and 60s music theme where they have bands come in and perform. Nice. DJs perform as well. So that we're trying to jump on. It's pretty cool.
Sounds awesome.
Have you ever done an escape room?
No, I have before. Those are awful, man, because nobody can agree on anything. Everybody's kind of trying to figure out the puzzles in the room, and then sometimes you got to collectively come together to solve the bigger puzzle so you can unlock the effing door.
Yeah,
and that don't happen because everybody's all, I'm gonna figure this out. What is this and what is that? And by the time you know it, man, your time's expired. Just get me out of here, man.
There's a place over in the Woodlands that I was Chica and I were walking up and down, and we came across this one area. We went to the movies. We went to go see Sinners the other day, which is a very good movie. And as we were walking back to the car, we noticed that there was an area there that of the shopping center that was kind of secluded, and we wanted to know what was over there. And it was an area that had nothing but 5 or 6 different companies that did different things. Right, one was an arcade and a pool hall, which was cool. 2 of them were escape room places, and then there was another place that was kind of like it was like you had to solve riddles and puzzles, and it was a drinking game. But there was this one place that I saw, LG, that I thought was kind of interesting. It was a game show room. So a game show room where you go in there 3-on-3, 4-on-4, where you play a simulated game of Wheel of Fortune where you actually spin the wheel, where you're playing Plinko, where you're playing all these game shows like Jeopardy and whatnot. They turned it into an experience where you bring your friends and you battle your friends in a game show environment. That I'm looking forward to.
I could do that. I could get into that for sure. That would be
Oh,
awesome.
man.
Family
Dude,
Feud, you know.
I hear
got a
Costco
request.
selling the Plinko game as well, like for your home. Can you imagine that, having a little Plinko game?
I don't know.
I
how to
wouldn't
play
mind
that
having
game.
that.
How do you even play that game?
I wouldn't
Tex-Mex
mind
Frank.
having that. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. Is
Tex-Mex
that the
Frank.
game they play in Vegas that everyone's betting on, and like they got the video board up there with all the scores?
Oh, that's Keno.
Oh, that's Keno. Okay,
That's
so what?
Keno.
Yeah, look,
confusing that with
Tex-Mex
Plinko.
Frank asking for this, dude. Thanks, Tex-Mex Frank. Appreciate
Here
you.
comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He says, appreciate what you fellas are doing to my ears. Where is the Tom Cruise Edgar cut? He goes, need a 3-day Texican weekend grito. We'll bring you that. But this is what happened to Tom Cruise after he went ahead and visited San Antonio.
Yeah.
He got the Marbach.
Out of all the
Crema.
theaters, he chooses River Center Mall.
Of course.
Come
It's
on.
tourist.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Not one local in the place. Kesa has video of him addressing the crowd. There's no video of him eating popcorn, which I think is hilarious. But I do like this, the Edgar cut. You know what? Kind of looks all right with it, Joe.
Yeah, he looks all right with it, man. But you know, we got to go ahead and give him the grito because they paid for the grito. So we're going to go and give him the grito, man. Here you go.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
We all have a cousin that looks like that guy, dude.
Did you
We
get a
all
new
have that
one?
deal,
That's a
man.
new grito, right?
There's a
Yeah,
new
they
grito.
Changed
dude.
it out. All right,
We got a new
nice.
one too. We have another one. I'll play the other one just for shits and giggles here. This one's courtesy MCS General Contracting.
That's my favorite one. Three Amigos.
Three amigos. I'm still here, el guapo.
Yeah, El Jefe.
Now, LG, we were talking about westerns yesterday. Is Three Amigos technically a western movie?
Yes. It is. You know, El Jefe, the guy who plays El Jefe is from San Antonio, by the way. But
Oh, El Jefe,
fun fact,
really?
Yeah. I've met
That's
him a few
awesome.
times. He's from here. But yeah, it's a western. It's a different western, but I consider it a western.
They're saying, is that Mike doing the grito? No, hombre, dude. Mike doesn't have that in him, man. I don't know if you're that
No?
ethnic. It's too ethnic for him to
No
do the
grito?
No,
grito.
it's funny that you mentioned that because Chica asked me last night to do a grito,
Did you?
and I did, and she kind of gave it a bad grade. It wasn't awful, but she kind of gave me a bad grade. But it wasn't so much. I used to do it good, dude. Middle school, high school, I would mockingly do a grito to my dad because my dad would listen to KEDA 1540 Radio Jalapeno, right? He would listen to all that. And I would do a grito, and I did it really good, but it was a mocking thing, dude. Now these days, I don't know, man. I think when my voice lowered over the years, I can't get it. I can't get
¡No
that high.
mames otra vez!
No mames, Mike. You ain't gonna do no grito. It's more of the Apache battle cry, like Chica always has to say. She kind of ruined the grito for me now.
Yeah. So and Chica says she only does the Apache battle cry when. LG might have missed that. So we were talking about the grito, and Chica, my girlfriend, says I only do the Apache battle cry in bed.
All right. You must have some good moves, Mike.
That's what she said, man. And then she says, like,
athletic.
yeah, because she's like, the grito is nothing more than the Apache battle cry. I'm like, Chica, always hitting us with them facts, man.
Okay, we're gonna address Mario's super chat in a second, but here's what Chica has done. LG, she has ruined movies for us. Okay,
tell her to see Rudy.
Okay, I've seen my old radio show at San Antonio Sports Star. We would have movie reviews because I didn't watch movies growing up. Like I wasn't allowed to, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
So I watched Gremlins for the first time, and I watched, all these movies, Officer and a Gentleman, all these movies for the first time. I'm now with somebody who didn't watch movies growing up either. So I'm showing her different movies, and I'm showing her things for the very, very first time. She said she wanted to watch a good war movie or a good thrilling war movie, right? So I showed her Full Metal Jacket. Have you seen Full Metal Jacket?
Of course.
At the end of the first act, when the gunnery sergeant gets shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
She looks at me and goes, "I'm not surprised. I can't believe they did that to a special needs guy." I had watched that movie hundreds of times, and I never once considered Lawrence Gomer Pyle, right?
Gomer.
Pyle.
I never once considered him to be special needs, but she goes, "It's obvious he's special needs."
Bro, they beat that brother with that bar of soap, man.
she goes, "He's special needs, and he's gonna attack with soap."
Well, now that
did you ever once consider him?
I know, but now that you mention it, he might have been, on the spectrum a little bit. But I don't think it was diagnosed back then. So no, technically he wasn't, because it wasn't diagnosed back then.
Damn it, Chica. She ruined everything, man.
She ruined Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which I thought was funny. What was the other? She ruined like 3 or 4 movies. I forgot the other ones, but it's just so funny.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What is your major malfunction, numbnuts? The iconic line. Yeah, that's why, and then you have this, man. Mike, let's not forget, he's sneaky athletic.
My detective test determined that was a lie.
You got that meniscus tear just from walking around now, so I think the athleticism's gone, brother.
Joe, you met my friends who told you back in the day.
That was back in the day. I'm talking about now.
That I could serve a tennis ball over 100 miles an hour. I could probably get mid-90s to 100 now.
We don't work that way no more, Mike. Gotta let the dream die. We're old already. You try doing that now, you're gonna tear something, bro. I'm telling you.
Mike over here like Uncle Rico.
Yeah. You're gonna tear every muscle in your stomach, dude.
Does LG believe this tall tale that I told this past week? Okay, did this happen or not? I'm saying it did, because it did happen. LG, back in the day, there were clubs downtown, right? There was the Vaults, was a one club that I used to go to downtown. I went over there, went to the Wells Fargo ATM downtown. Didn't have a weapon on me because I don't carry a gun or a knife or anything like that. But I was going to go to a downtown.
Stop the cap.
I had a tennis racket because I play tennis. I took it with me and I hid it between my legs. And a guy came up to me with a little blade, told me to give me the money. And I picked up my racket like this, and we had a Mexican standoff. And he walked away. Yahweh! Joe thinks that that's bullshit.
It is.
Bullshit. Do you believe that happened or not? Because, by the way, I reenacted it in front of the entire family over here, Chica's family, here the other day, and they were cracking up saying that there's no way in the world that happened.
No.
And I was like, dude.
First of all, why do you have a tennis racket, though?
I play tennis.
After going to the club?
Well, it was just in the car.
Oh, okay.
It was in the car. I wasn't going to the ATM where I'm driving up to it. It was the one at the Wells Fargo where you have to walk to it.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of downtown. It's midnight. It's a Friday night. I don't want to get mugged. So I took a little something before I went to the club, and then I just was going to put the thing back in the car.
I'm on call. Yeah, I think that's a bunch of BS.
The detective test determined that was a lie.
Because you're not going to grab a tennis racket out of your car, dude.
I didn't have a bat. I didn't have a bat.
It's San Antonio. What, you don't need anything. You're Mexican.
Well, obviously, I
walk
did.
to the ATM and get your damn money.
Well, I did. Just give it up.
Was it just a homeless crackhead or what?
I know it was an Edgar.
Oh my God!
Was it,
This is
there was
the
Edgar's back then.
this is
Yeah.
the chat. This is the chat of the day. A tennis racket between the legs. Where did you hide the
That's
handle?
that was my second thing I was about to get to right there. How did
Do I
you
have to-
hide a tennis racket between your legs?
Okay, you put the tennis racket
Do you
between
have like
your
wide
feet.
thighs?
I am bow-legged, but
Okay.
still. Yeah, I had it standing upward, but I had it between my toes, between my feet.
Oh, I got you. You set it down.
Yeah, so that's basically what I did. And he came around, he goes, "Give me your money." And I was like,
And look, we got to address the super chat we got coming in. Thank Mario
Here comes the
Cavazos.
money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He says, it's Friday and we don't give a damn. No mames way.
No mames otra vez.
Thank you, Mario. Appreciate you, man.
That's badass. That's badass. Hey, we need to talk some pop culture on the other side. Britney Spears is in trouble, but before we get into that, let's give some love to MCS General Contracting.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give them some love. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
Even Chica knows that's diamond hard concrete there. They do a fantastic job. Already people calling me. The number 774-9155 for your concrete placement needs. 774-9155. They can do residential. They can do business, parking lots, driveways, whatever you need. 210-774-9155. They did a sidewalk at my house. Looks badass. We have some people saying, Jason Garcia saying Jimenez ain't Mexican. Shay 84 saying I'd carry a golf club and be like Tiger Woods' ex-wife, Elin. And Tex-Mex Frank coming at me and saying Mike using a tennis racket to defend himself. I call fib. It was probably an umbrella or a piñata stick.
That's
Badass.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, LG. Britney Spears, believe it or not, was born in 1981, which makes her 44 years old. If you had to go to Vegas and place a bet on the over-under of how long she's going to live, to what age, what's the over-under at? Because I'm saying 52. Like something's going to happen in the next decade.
The end is nigh.
I'm going to go under. I'm going to go with 50.
Okay, you're gonna go. If I said at 52, you're going to say at 50? Go the under?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently the authorities were called to LAX airport in Los Angeles Thursday, which was yesterday, because she lit up a cigarette on a private jet. She was drinking, lit up a cigarette, and apparently that's a big no-no. I thought that was only for like commercial airliners, but she's on a private jet that had flight attendants, and apparently there was some sort of confrontation that ensued. You surprised at any of this at all? And did you realize that you couldn't smoke on a private jet?
I'm not surprised by it, and I guess it really did. I have flown a private jet a few times, and we couldn't smoke on there, but we didn't own the jet. Did she own the jet? Or
Probably not.
Yeah, so you can't smoke on that. And she probably felt real entitled or was just real messed up on drugs and lit up. But yeah, you can't smoke on jets, man. Like, I guess you can if you own it. Like Trump could probably smoke on that Qatar jet that's at the airport right now.
Yeah.
But
Joe,
You know what she-
over under set at 52. Joe, you taking the over or the under?
I'm taking the under. How old is she? 44?
44.
Yeah, she's 48, bro. She done. And you know what she
Oof.
told them flight attendants? She told them, y'all are going to have to go ahead and pull this cigarette in my cold, dead hand. And she said,
I don't give a damn.
damn right she did.
she's had a very long fall from grace. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Her
it
parents
just
messed
shows.
her. Her dad messed her up, man.
It just shows, man. All the talent in the world, man. If you don't have people around you that love you,
Talent?
Something.
It's a stretch, but
She's dancing. She's making them dancing videos with the knives and stuff, man. She's gonna hurt somebody.
Good marketing is a very powerful tool.
You see pictures of her dog.
Why.
Not even the dog wants to be
She
there,
got no
man.
talent.
The dog,
She's
he's
a
like,
no talent hack.
Back in the day, "Hit Me Baby One More Time" was good enough. I mean, it was auto-tuned like crazy.
Singing a lick. Yeah, there was no talent. The talent was the studio engineer that applied the auto-tune to her voice.
You know who else is heavily auto-tuned now? Both The Weeknd and Post Malone, dude. They auto-tune the crap out of their voices, dude.
And The Weeknd can actually sing, so he doesn't need to do that.
I saw a video recently of John Bon Jovi trying to sing these days.
Oh God,
he has no pipes anymore. He is sang his last song, dude, which was sad because Bon Jovi was good enough. Bon Jovi was one of those bands where it was like, you don't want to say that you like them. They were the original Nickelback. You don't want to say that you like them, but we all liked them at some point.
Look at Redbird Junkie. Hit Me Baby One More Time with Mike's tennis racket.
So my girlfriend, Chica, thinks that Ariana Grande is going to kick the bucket one day soon. She's worried about Ariana Grande. She says Ariana is way too skinny. She might be going the Brittany Murphy route.
She looks bad, real bad. I think whenever her ex-boyfriend died, the Mac Miller, she got all on drugs and started going downfall of Ariana
You know what,
Grande.
man? I'm going to show this here.
She hates America too. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, that she does. Let's check this out. Once you see this, LG and Mike, you won't be able to unsee it, and it's courtesy of our boy Fernandez.
Is that her real facial expression? It looks like someone drew that on. Like, seriously.
No, man.
After Caitlin Clark got roughed up today, so another defender came up and roughed her up at the midcourt line, and she screamed back at them, "I'm not afraid of you," and then she gave that look.
I'm not afraid of you.
So far, we've determined that she looks like that she was dressed like State Farm / Target yesterday. Looked very uncomfortable. A lot of the comments were guys saying, "Okay, hear me out. I'm not going to listen to that, dude. No." But Caitlin Clark yesterday, for the first time since she was a sophomore in college, did not make a three-pointer. But Indiana Fever still won that game and are now 2-1 on the season. I want to play a get to know you game with LG.
All right.
Okay, get to know you game is okay. So LG, who is your celebrity crush? Your first celebrity crush back in the day, growing up?
Melissa Joan Hart.
Wow, you know what? That's a band of refined tastes. I like it. I dig it.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
So what was it about Sabrina?
Sabrina?
Yeah, the teenage
was
witch.
she Sabrina? But I know her from Clarissa Explains It All. I didn't watch.
Oh,
okay,
that's right.
Yeah,
he's going old school.
That was my first crush. Nickelodeon. Clarissa Explains It All. I wanted to be the dude that snuck in her window every night. That you remember her friend would sneak in her window every time. I wanted to be that guy.
Who's your celebrity crush now?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Can't even answer that. I got to get back to you on that one.
All right,
think about that.
What's the one album? What's the one album you listened to the most growing up, or one artist that you listened to the most?
The Roots.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Give me your Mount Rushmore of movies. Stranded on a deserted island, can only take 4 movies with you.
You're killing
at
me.
Least name
the
2.
Hardest question, like nobody can.
At least name 2.
I'm taking Tombstone with me for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. RoboCop. Go ahead and take RoboCop with me. I think RoboCop's probably my number 1 movie of all time.
I'd buy that for $1.
Exactly.
All right, we go for a drink, and someone says, "Hey, LG, I got you, man. What do you want? What are you drinking?"
If we're talking beer, you can get me some Love Street, or I'll take some soju or some sake.
Interesting. Some sake.
Yeah.
That knocks my ass out, man.
Yeah. Nagorisaki, to be specific.
Very cool. Joe?
Yeah.
Memorial Day is coming, is upon us. Dude. Oh, I didn't tell you, Joe. My divorce might finally be official soon.
It's still not. I thought it was done already.
Dude, it's been 2 years in the making, man. 2 years in the making.
You keep changing it up.
Oh no, man! I think my attorney sucks. I think her attorney sucks ass too. Like seriously, do you know who drew up the decree?
Who?
At the end of the day, after thousands of dollars spent, I'm the one who designed 90% of the divorce decree.
So why don't you fire your attorney, man?
He's already cashed the check, man.
Oh, okay.
Look at Tony Ornelas. Joe is jealous. Mike, you don't ask me these questions to get to know me. I don't.
Well, I know way too much about Joe, man. Joe, I'm gonna bet your childhood celebrity crush was Alyssa Milano.
No, Melissa Milano wasn't bad, but I like that other girl from Erie, Indiana, man, the sister from that series.
From Erie, Indiana. What show is that?
Oh, come on. It's an obscure sitcom that came out way back when, dude. You're talking about years and years and years ago. But the sister, she was cute, man.
The sisters that were cute in the TV show back in the day were the ones from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Was it Stacey Dash? Is that her name? Yeah, she wasn't ugly. My celebrity crush growing up, my first one, LG, was Susanna Hoffs from the Bengals.
Oh wow.
Walk like an Egyptian. She did the eye thing. Yeah, she did
that.
the eye thing, and I was like, I like what's going on here. I dig this. Joe, who are you bringing up, Joe? Who's this person?
Oh, you want me to bring her up? What was her name? Trying to find out.
Erie, Indiana. How long ago was this show? In the 80s or 90s?
Probably late 80s, early 90s, something like that. He goes, damn, that's specific. I guess I was the only one that watched it from what I'm seeing here.
Oh, it was only one season, Joe. This doesn't count.
Hey, man, it's a TV series I like, dude.
It's on Netflix, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I'll show you a picture. I mean, it's hard to find because it's obscure, you know. There you go. There's sister right there. See, you can see it right here.
I don't remember this.
From far away, she looks like Aunt Becky on Full House.
Becky.
Dude, we all loved Aunt Becky.
She cute.
All right.
She cute.
I've never heard of before, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, I got to slide out. Oh, show up my number, by the way, if you can. At least, oh, my goodness. Mario Cavazos saying Eliza Dushku.
Yep, she cute.
Bring it on. She was also on that. She was also in True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
210-508-0369. 210-508-0369. I peddle them investments. I peddle them insurances. Have any questions about retirement accounts? Have any questions about life insurance, disability, long-term care, auto, or home? Give me a call. 210-508-0369. Only been in business for 19 years. 210-508-0369. I have a client meeting I need to run off to over Zoom. Got to change the shirt, look more professional. LG, finally got a chance to hang out with you, man. It was nice getting to meet you a little bit and getting to know you. Have a fantastic weekend at work, Joe, with what you're doing over the weekend as well.
Yeah, no show Monday. Remember, we're taking off.
Very nice.
All right.
By then, the Knicks should be done. The Knicks should be through. We know Minnesota will be.
Yeah.
But everyone have a fantastic weekend. Go Spurs, go. Remember, at the end of the day, it's Spurs in 5.
Spurs in 5. We'll go ahead and see you later, Mike. Peace.
Late.
All right, LG, we're going to go ahead and plug you real quick before we leave, man. Where can they go ahead and find you, man?
Yeah, you can check me out at DJLG210 on YouTube, on all the other socials, on Twitch. It's at Twitch is at LG's House. And I'll be doing a podcast sometime this weekend, so look for updates there. Please subscribe to the channel and all my socials. I appreciate you having me on again, Joe. And man, it was fun. It was fun to meet Mike for the first time.
Finally did the show with Mike, so it's all good there. But make sure you go and give LG some love here. Like he said, he's on the X. You can go ahead and find his YouTube channel, LG's House. His show's he's got going on. He also helps produce a show that's called
The Sports Cave
with
the
Biggest Puma.
With Sam Freeze and I have teamed up. We're back again doing sports shows, and those air every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. on the YouTube channel at Sports Cave Live. So give us a follow there. We're also on Twitch at the same handle. And Margaret Robbie is my celebrity crush right now.
Oh, Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
Okay.
Margot
Yeah,
Robbie. Yes,
she's
that
cute.
one.
Nice
That's
choice.
my one today.
Nice choice.
I couldn't think of her name.
Yeah.
And I got it wrong too. It's Margot
Robbie.
Margot, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, we're going to go to bring the show to an end. We'll see you boys on Tuesday. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy Memorial Day. We're out. Peace.
Later.